completely organic, if you'll forgive the pun on the word. It was just a few of my friends saying, well, so we want to help you do this. What does it mean? Make a long story short, everyone has sent us at least $1,000. It's ranged from $1,000 to $85,000. The amounts were kind of random. It was really just a way for people to say we're in and we want to put something down there that says this is the beginning of an economic set of activities. We are just about to finalize our strategy for launch. And so I'm going to tell you this ahead of, I have 2 conference calls with those 45 people 10 days from now. They have not heard all of this. Some of them have heard it all. So you're kind of, this is kind of out of order, but I'm just trusting the fates. I think what's going to happen is later this year, I will be the lead entrepreneur in this, but we're going to go to market, try to raise $100 million for a first slow money fund. Now, this could be the most preposterously ridiculous time in the history of the world to go out to try to raise $100 million, or it could be the only time to go out and raise this $100 million, and we actually obviously don't know. So I'll just say it's 50-50 that we're going to get this done. How is this fund going to work? I'm going to tell you how I would like it to work, and pray that we're able to make it happen. This would be the first fund of its kind, and hopefully the beginning of a whole new wave of philanthropic investing in this century, for the rest of the century. I know it's very bombastic. I actually think it's possible, and I am going to try to do it. How would it work? We're calling it an I fund. I stands for integral. It may or may not, that's just a working title. What is an I fund? An I fund is a philanthropy. It's philanthropic funds. So I'm going to raise this from people who are not going to expect a return. All of the money is then going to be invested in seeding a whole bunch of intermediaries, all for-profit investment activities all around the country, around local food systems. If those of you who know about philanthropy know something called program-related investing, one of the directors of Slow Money ran Ford's program-related investing program for 10 years. So he put out about $125 million at the Ford Foundation. How did that work? They were trying to make a negative 15 or 20% return on their money in that program, meaning they took the money, invested it in below-market things that were related to their mission as a philanthropy, and hoped to recover 85% of the dollars so that it could be reused again. So this part of the discussion, I actually just want to take another minute or two to explain what I just said, because it could be important, and I'd certainly like at least to know what we're trying to do. I feel very, very strongly that philanthropy, as it has been practiced in the 20th century, cannot respond to the crisis that the planet faces. Why is that? Because you have money managers who are managing the money, the assets out there, and they're just trying to make as much as they can the old-fashioned way. Then you have the program officers who give the money away. This is a complete manifestation of the bifurcation of social purpose and profit-making that is at the core of our problems as a civilization. Leaving out the fact that there just isn't enough philanthropic money to solve all the problems, thing one. Anybody who's running an NGO knows how horrible it is to try to raise money, almost impossible it is to keep yourself alive raising money from foundations. What we need to figure out how to do is to invest in a whole new generation of for-profit social enterprises, small businesses that are solving for social and environmental problems at the local level. And that capital, we don't know how much money can be made doing that. I sure as hell don't know. It ain't venture capital. I'm absolutely certain it ain't venture capital, but I can tell you that venture capitalists who have sat in discussions about this sometimes pop up and say, I think you're totally wrong. You're going to make a shitload of money. This is a huge social transformation. American agriculture is going to go through a complete revolution in the next 25 years, and you're going to be at the ground level investing in all this stuff. You're going to make a lot of money. And what I said to him that got applause in that room, that's not why I'm not asking for applause. I'm saying it meant a lot to me. I said, even if we do, it's staying in. Even if we do manage to, despite ourselves, to make a lot of money, it's staying in, and we're going to reinvest it for the benefit of future generations. That is what is needed. We don't have time for everyone to keep using the old venture. Is venture capital extractive or not? You tell me.
You know?
Yes.
You know, we want to extract 20% IRRs in exchange for seeding your new business. Okay, for a certain kind of business, that's okay. I'm not against it. It's just that by itself is not using that lens to try to look at all the things that you want to have happen in Santa Cruz that you wish you could invest in. That lens cannot see any of those things. That lens, all these small businesses are completely invisible to that lens. If you're looking through there, if you're looking through that telescope, if you want to use that metaphor, and you're looking for a few thousand things that can deliver, does anybody here really think they understand? This sounds condescending. I really don't mean it that way. The arithmetic of venture capital is brutal. It is brutal. You know, 1 in 10, 1 in 20 companies drive returns. The whole venture capital, take the stock market. What percentage of companies on the stock market drive the returns of all the indices that you wake up every morning hearing the stock market's up or down? Probably 20 companies are driving those numbers, and everyone's acting like it's describing the reality of our world. It's crazy. So a very, Google, Apple, you know a bunch of companies have driven the returns of the entire venture capital industry for the last 30 years. the vast majority of things venture capitalists invest in become worthless. Super majority. It's just a brutal process. And then to extract those profits out of a company, how do you get them? You only get them one way. Company goes through the roof, goes public. And guess, you know, if we can, again, it sounds like I'm getting a little too radical and I'm ranting against venture capital. It's not that. That is what it is. It works very well for high tech. It works extremely well for a very small number of activities. But if we want to see tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of small enterprises that make our communities better and that preserve soil fertility and produce healthy food and educate our kids, all the things that we actually care about, you cannot use that model of finance. So we are going to go out and raise $100 million. We're going to try. And we're going to try to raise it through a new vehicle called an iFund that we hope will be a real pebble in the pond of philanthropy, that it'll really shake things up and make maybe a lot of the foundation fiduciaries who have been reluctant to put 1 or 2% this way maybe think about things a little differently. And I'm happy to tell you more. Anybody who wants to really hear about why we think we can do that and everything, it's because we're crazy, and we read E.F. Schumacher in 1976. So that's it. Questions, discussion. I'm sorry that went on so long. Well, there, and then there. Yep. And then there.
My question is twofold. The first one, how would you